I am here to tell Jonathon's story. Jonathan was 26 years old and was a member of the Oneida Nation in Oneida, Wisconsin. Jonathon was shot 5 times in the back on October 19, 2018 in the Sally Port of the Brown County Jail in Green Bay, Wisconsin. He was unarmed and handcuffed. Jonathon was stopped for a routine traffic stop in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Jonathon had a warrant for a non-violent crime. Jonathon was placed under arrest and transported to the Sally Port of the Brown County Jail by a trainee and his trainer, Officer Eric O'Brien. Officer O'Brien flashed his flashlight through the back window and said, "He has a gun." The statement that Jonathon had a gun escalated the situation, and plans of extracting Jonathon from the vehicle began. His plan was to shoot out the back window and administer OC spray into the back of the car. Immediately, the OC was administered, which hit Jonathon directly in the face. He quickly exited the vehicle through the back window. He immediately was shot with a beanbag round, which caused him to fall off the back of the car. He got up and ran, and another beanbag round was shot. This all happened in a matter of seconds. Officer O'Brien came around the corner and shot 8 times. 5 of those bullets hit Jonathon. The bullet that entered the back of his head may have been the final shot. Officer O'Brien is now referred to as Sergeant O'Brien. He was rewarded instead of being held accountable. Jonathon was pronounced dead at 9:11 p.m. As our family continues to spread Jonathon's story and seek justice, we live this night over and over again, just like many other families that have lost loved ones to this unnecessary violence and brutality. We have heard the conflicting statements by officers, and we have heard the phrase police immunity that many of these officers hide behind. These officers state they are trained in de-escalation, trained in negotiation, and trained in officer override. None of this was followed in our story, as well as many of the stories where the lives of our loved ones are taken. Jonathon was unarmed. Jonathon was still handcuffed, and Jonathon was not violent. Instead, they escalated the situation by using deadly force. It is all too often that our families hear district attorneys across the country say the actions of an officer were justified. It is all too often that officers are allowed to hide behind a badge that protects them from the injustices and the heinous acts on our loved ones. It is time for us to demand that officers are held accountable. Police immunity should never give them the right to take a life, and it certainly should not allow them to play God and determine whose life should be saved and who should not. Please continue to support and pray for all of our families that grieve because they have lost a young man, a woman, or a child by the hands of a police officer. Our family once again thanks everyone for their continued support and the spreading of Jonathon's story and carrying his name. Justice for Jonathon Tubby.